Welcome back to another Chef Knives to Go Quick Look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and we're looking at this time the Sugimoto number 7 or model number 4007 cleaver. They make a lot of different models of cleavers and knives, so this is the exact model number. The core steel that they mentioned, this is a multi-layered construction, a 3-layer construction. But that hardcore steel they label as pure Japanese ore. Based on research and hints I've seen around the web, it's suspected that this is Shitogami, either number 2 or number 1. If so, that's a really nice core steel that will take an awesome edge. It's fine grain, and at this heat treat of about 62, 63, that should have a really long-lasting edge for this style of steel with this heat treatment. So the construction is 3 layers. So on either side of that core steel, you've got a soft iron cladding, and then it goes down, and then the core steel shows up at the edge. The weights and dimensions will vary a little bit on these, but I should also mention the iron cladding is reactive and the core steel is reactive, so it's an all-reactive blade. The weight on these is about 534 grams or 18.8 ounces. And as I mentioned in the number 6 video, this is basically the same size knife. It's just thicker at the spine and a thicker blade overall. So the dimensions are basically the same. It's just, do you want something that's a little heavier or a little more medium heavy? The edge length is 220 millimeters or 8.65. Overall length about 12.8 inches, 326 millimeters. Spine thickness, well, let me get to that after the height. Height of the blade is around 110, 111 millimeters at the highest point, and it gets a little shorter at the front and the back because of the curve of the edge profile, and the spine stays straight all the way out. This one's a little thicker, as I mentioned, than the number 6. So this one's about almost 4 millimeters coming out of the handle, and then about halfway down it was about 3 versus 2.1 on the number 6, and it holds more thickness and thins out maybe 2.5 or so towards the very end here, but it's definitely a heavier blade than the number 6 for sure. The handle's nothing fancy. It's basic wood handle with their logo, name, and bent over tang to hold it on. You've got a stainless bolster. Tends to be a little bit of a gap there, so you may want to put some sealant in to keep water from getting in the handle where that bolster is. Fit and finish is nicely done on these. It's a big blade, so I can't get too close to show the whole thing, but there's our beauty shot. So you've got deeply embossed kanji stamped in there. You can really feel it when you run your finger across there. Number 7 to give you the model number. Stamped Sugimoto logo. On the left side of the blade as you would be holding it, you've got a stamped name and logo. One thing that's cool about these is it has a brushed finish. So the finish goes horizontally with the knife. When you clean the knife, you tend to wash it and wipe it dry this way with the blade. So what that does is any scratches you develop doing that will kind of go with this and hide it a little bit more, so that it'll kind of work with the finish on that and stay a little nicer looking over time. You've got a sandblasted finish down here. And then as the grind really kicks in, you can see that come down to the edge. There is a cladding line. It's pretty hard to see, but there's a cladding line pretty close to the edge where the core steel and cladding demarcation line happens. Here is the actual grind. So pretty thick blade. It tapers a little bit, but then the real grind kicks in right where you can see that grinding on the blade face. And then these get nice and thin at the edge. So they're good performing knives. You've got a lot of weight to help drop it through food. They're very sharp out of the box. This thing was a solid 6, 7 out of 10. All 3 of these that I've seen have been very, very sharp out of the box. And let's see, in terms of fit and finish, you've got a slightly relieved spine, slightly relieved choil, so they're very comfortable. As I said, great out of the box edge. The way the grind is on these, you'll get some decent food separation off of these versus a real thin cleaver like a CCK thin cleaver. So that'll help separate the product and prevent a little bit of the sticking you might get with stuff riding up the blade as much as it does on those other style of thin cleavers. So you've got a lot of mass here. The balance point is, way up here. As you might guess, it's a very light handle. Pretty much a big old blade with a handle stuck on it. So for your regular grips, some people use a lot of different grips, double fingers, single fingers, blade, spine, finger on the spine. There's lots of ways people hold these, but either way, you're going to have a lot of weight that you can use for chopping power, which is what a lot of people really love about these cleavers. So let's look at it on our cutting board. Here is your edge profile. pretty similar to the number 6. You got a little bit of curve towards the tip and a little bit of curve towards the back. Not a lot of rocking, a little bit. I'm not going to get real high. I'm digging in the tip pretty early there, so you're really not going to do much rocking type cutting. You're going to do chopping, maybe a little push-pull cuts. You can use the tip and the heel, the chin at the back of the heel for cutting as well, and detail work, which makes them very useful for onions and the like. So just a really cool blade. So you kind of have a choice between medium heavy and heavy between the number 6 and 7. Great core steel, nice fit and finish. This is the Sugimoto number 7, 4007 Cleaver.